I'm Alka Joshi, and I wrote a book called The Henna Artist, which became a New York Times bestseller in 2020. When my publisher first told me that it was going to go into the historical fiction genre, I cringed because I thought, no, historical fiction falls into the realm of the romance novelists. This isn't a romance. This is about agency that women in 1950s India got to have. Who had it? Who didn't? How much of it did they get to have? But then, as my research showed, there had been an amazing development in historical fiction in the last several decades. Women were writing historical fiction to correct history, to include the half of the population that might have been left out of a lot of historical documentation. Women. From a woman's perspective, the details of how women's lives were lived. This is what we find in Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall. We learn about Anne Boleyn as a fierce opponent to Thomas Cromwell instead of just the beheaded wife of Henry VIII. In Tracy Chevalier's Girl with the Pearl Earring, we learn about a servant girl in 17th century Holland who may have contributed to the luminosity of Vermeer's paintings. Historical fiction removes the distance between history and character. And readers love to know about character. How did the character feel? What were their joys and triumphs and defeats and hardships? These are all the things that historical novelists make us feel. And in doing so, they teach us a little bit about the history of the females they're writing about. So in my TED Talk, I'm going to demonstrate how historical novelists are actually completing history. They are making history whole for those of us who have been hungry for knowledge about how women lived in all of these different eras.